Welcome to the Eye on Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm probably continuing my tour of places that my New Year's resolutions say that I should not be. But
here you are.
But we're up here in Severna Park with Nothing Bundt Cakes and with Glenn and Rhonda Rogers, who are the owners of actually three of them in Annapolis, Crofton / Gambrills, and Severna Park, and Samantha Colletti, who is the area director that sort of probably keeps it all together for them. So thank you guys for inviting me up here. You know, I've got to say that when I first heard about you guys opening up in Annapolis, I was like, WTF. And then I ate one and it was like, OMG. Okay, so it just totally switched around here because my thought was like, man can't survive on bundt cakes alone. And they probably can't, but I mean, there's definitely a demand for it. And I mean, these are amazing. I will say that just to get up late. But you guys opened up your Annapolis store back in November of 20?
December of 2020. Yeah.
Okay. That's right. It's Annapolis. So we got to add a couple extra months there. And then you expanded up into the village or the town center at Wog Chapel in 24?
July of 24.
And then here's your newest baby up here in Severna Park at the Park Plaza. And that was just in okay. And that went pretty quickly.
It did its point. But
that was, I think at one point, I think I'd heard that you were looking at like at a November opening in 25. Something happened.
We did. Yeah.
It was actually earlier in this construction kind of spread out. We had permitting. There's working with the permitting offices can be challenging sometimes.
No, get out. So that's one common thing about businesses that I talk to in Anne Arundel County. It's like, oh my gosh, if I'd only known about some of the permitting and the costs and everything that goes there. But let's talk about Nothing Bundt Cakes. I mean, the name kind of sells it all. Nothing Bundt Cakes. Where did this start from? I mean, I guess on a franchise level, and it is a franchise, right?
It is a franchise.
Yeah. And just a quick note on franchises that the way I see a franchise is a advertising vehicle. You're trading on a name. They're giving you some tools to be able to do your business, but you're locally owned.
Yes.
You're hiring locally. Yep. You guys live in the community. You work in the community. You play in the community.
We do.
And that's a big difference I think people need to realize when you see, oh, I saw Nothing Bundt Cakes in Minneapolis or in New York or whatever it is. It's not like at the end of the day, there's a big check floating up to some magical headquarters up there.
That's correct.
It's coming back here into the local community. And I think that's just a really important distinction. But let's talk about your product. I mean, the bundt cakes. I mean, how did this concept all start?
Two ladies in Las Vegas. Sandy, take it away. Yeah. So one of the ladies had the recipe for the cake, and then the other one, they were friends. They had, and then the other one had the recipe for frosting, and they kind of just put it together. And friends and family were like, "Wow, these are really good. You guys should start a business together." And so they started it in their homes, and then from there, obviously, it took off, and so it got super popular. And then they opened their first location in Nevada, and it blew up from there. So it's been super popular. I believe they started in 1996. So from there, I mean, it's 2000.
I had no idea.
2026. So
I had no idea it was that been around that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they recently celebrated 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think one of the nice things about this is your menu is pretty simple.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about size and flavors.
Yeah.
and that's.
I think that was one of the things that drew us to the brand, was that it was a simple concept and light concept. It's just one cake in a few different varieties and flavors. That's it.
What are the popular flavors? I mean, when I look at the website, let's say it's nothingbundtcakes.com, and then you can search for the place that's closest to you, whether it's, whether in Crofton, Gambrills, Annapolis, or Severna Park. And miraculously, Bill Gates makes your computer remember where that is. So when you come back, you always come to the local place through some kind of magic. But what are the big sellers?
I would say for us, so we have our top 4 most popular flavors, and that's our chocolate chip, our lemon, white chocolate raspberry, and then red velvet. And then, of course, we have our seasonal flavors that are super popular at the moment. We have our Biscoff cookie butter cake that has been flying off the shelves recently. The brand first brought it back or started a couple months ago, and it sold out 250 locations in like the first week or so. So it was a popular flavor by high demand, so they brought it back, and it's same thing, flying off the shelves recently. So that's been really popular.
I guess it's not a surprise that the most decadent flavors are the most popular ones for me. I mean, that's probably kind of a no-brainer there. I also had a chance to experience as a friend of mine's daughter got married, and they had a big, huge Nothing Bundt Cake display down at the wedding down in South County, down at Honey Harvest Farm, something like that. And it was just a great introduction. Everybody was raving about them as well. And for anybody that hasn't been here, just try one.
Well, I think that's one of the sweet things about the brand, or it's what's become inherent in its design, is that you can get these little tiny buntinis, a little teeny tiny bite, and a cake, and decorate with.
No,
and so we
you mentioned the size of the buntini, okay, and that's like a cupcake, a small cupcake,
smaller than a little cupcake, I think, right? Maybe just a little smaller.
It's a small cupcake, and that's like bites. And that's you order them in a dozen.
In a dozen,
and so it's like a perfect thing to take into the office in the morning to kiss up to your boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you could get multiple flavors as well. So if people wanted to, not stick to one flavor, they could get multiple ones and mix and match them. So I think that's very unique to the buntinis, is you don't have to stick to one flavor, and people can take multiple, if they wanted more than one. So,
and then up from the buntini, you've got the individual Bundt cakes. Is that right? The buntlets.
The buntlet.
Okay.
Called fillets. Yeah.
And that is a serving.
It's a single serving.
Yeah.
We call it a single serving. It can be a shared serving.
No, you're not going to share them. No, if I get one, I'm not sharing it. Okay.
I'm a mean, awful person. I don't share my bullets. But it is a single serving. It comes in its individually packed, a shell. And that was a great thing during COVID.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine.
It became, our number one seller. And so.
It just dawned on me, too, that you said that in 2020, late 2020, you opened. So, I mean, that was in the thick of things.
Yes.
That'd be a scary time for a business owner.
It was.
We were concerned. But the community was great. I mean, they supported us. Everybody still had things they wanted to celebrate. And that's really, I think, what we're all about. People come to us because they want to celebrate an event, some type of event, from weddings to birthdays to, graduations, you name it. And
during a time when everything was so scary, who would have thought that we had a global pandemic in our lifetime? But every day there was a birthday, every day there was an anniversary, a thank you, a get well.
It reminds me of Steve Samaras, who owns Zachary's Jewelers, who we've talked a number of times, a good friend that we've talked through recessions and downtimes and uptimes, and certainly the pandemic. And he said, pandemic doesn't care about love, doesn't care about birthdays. It doesn't care about, he says, people are going to get married. They're going to, celebrate birthdays and anniversaries and births and everything else. And jewelry is something there. And certainly cakes is.
I have a really sweet story for during that time when we had Annapolis shortly after we opened. It's still during the shutdown, and people were still covered and separated, and lady comes into Annapolis and alone, very quiet, and so I come out to serve her, and I asked what she likes. She's like, well, I've never been here before. I just wanted to get one, a little something for myself. So she picked out a bundle, and I said, well, what are we celebrating today? And she says, I'm celebrating my first birthday. And I said, your first birthday? She's like, I just found out that she's survived cancer. And so it marked her first birthday. And she said, I just wanted to get something sweet for myself and just kind of celebrate on my own. And that's what brought me here. That's what brought her to Annapolis. And I'll never forget that.
Wow.
I said, what are you celebrating? Which is what we often ask. You're coming in here. Great to see you. Happy, little slice of joy. What are we celebrating today? And she said, my first birthday.
I'm probably celebrating falling off my New Year's resolution bandwagon. That's sort of how that works here. But
that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. But you look at the different things that you can celebrate. And I think it's interesting that, Rhonda, that you had mentioned that, what are you celebrating?
Yeah.
You don't need a celebration to do this. But as I sit there and think about this, obviously you've got weddings. Okay. I was at the one wedding there, and they had a large, and I'm not a baker, so I'm going to say a
tiered cake.
Okay, tiered cake for the bridal party and everything else like that. And then they had a huge table of the buntlets that were with all the different flavors to be able to pick out what the guests wanted. But you think about birthdays, you think about reunions, you think about just dessert for holiday dinners. I'm partial to a cherry pie from a local cottage kitchen on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, but this is a perfect opportunity to do that. And also it probably, satisfies a little bit more finicky people. Okay, well, I want the red velvet. I want the double chocolate. I want the lemon, to be able to do that. It's really kind of endless is what you might be able to celebrate.
Going to a friend's for dinner. I know when I show up empty-handed, I can pick up something real easy and bring it to the gathering. I think we have a lot of that. There's people that just come in that just want to treat for themselves for that day.
Well, the woman that's celebrating her first birthday, that's, it's all about me.
Yeah. It's a seasonal thing. Like we have times of the year that emphasize, for example, Easter, right? Easter is a big buntini time of year. So, that's a popular thing to buy because what is Easter? It's little kids going to Easter egg hunt and they want to have sweets or whatever. So instead of having a cake, little baby, or little small children can have just a little tiny sweet little bite, right? And so, they signify Mother's Day. Like, cakes are great because we celebrate mothers. And
that's also really kind of cool too. But now we're a little bit hyper focused on germs and sharing and stuff like that, even though we're, well out of COVID. But there, and you've got the kids that get the choice. So it's like, I don't like lemon. So you've got all of that. Well, no, where are these made? Are these made right here locally?
Every day.
Bakery bakes fresh every day.
Every day.
I don't know if you can smell when you walk in. A lot of people come in. I'm like, oh my God, it smells amazing in here because we're actually baking the cakes in each bakery every day.
Yeah. It looks like the front of house, so the boutique, right?
Right.
Is 298 square feet, and then people are in shock when they realize if you step to the back into our crafting and managers area, and then beyond that is the whole back and heart of house. It's very big, and they're like, I didn't realize that you guys are this big, and I'm like, we do it all here.
Well, it does make sense though, because you've got such a limited menu and stuff like that. It's very easy to put it all front forward in there, and to be able to use the most of the space for the magic that happens there. So these are baked fresher. I know that like Naval Bagels, they bake them all in Annapolis, and then they will deliver them out to Edgewater up here into Arnold and back and forth. They're fresh, but it's not, but they're actually baked on site here.
Each bakery. Yeah.
How?
We don't do the logistics of.
How fresh do they stay? How long do they stay fresh?
We like to, so within 2 days, we'll sell them to the public, which allows them, if they keep them refrigerated, they keep them for about another 5 days refrigerated. So that's kind of about a week long.
So a week. Yeah.
It's kind of the thing. But so we sell them within 2 days of being baked. And then that gives whoever buys it a chance to also keep it for several days before they process it.
That's wild. And one of the other things that I admire about you guys, and I'm just meeting you guys for the first time today, but I've noticed you around the community. I think the last thing I was at was the SPCA's VIP donor night, and there was the big table with the Nothing Bundt Cakes. So I love that you're community first. You're out there supporting the nonprofits. I see you, I don't look at you, and I walk real past when I'm going up to the press box at Navy Stadium because you put that darn table right outside the elevators. I'm like, I'm out of there. Don't look.
I'm not looking.
I do see you guys all over the community. And again, this is a company that wasn't here. COVID's messed with everybody's mind as far as times, but prior to COVID, it just didn't exist. Nobody had ever heard about it.
That local footprint is really important for us. It's always been very important for me. And we do get requests for support, just a very high volume. of requests, and obviously we can't accommodate everyone, but we do, and we try to spread it out. And
it's so tough for business owners. I mean, there's such a great need,
yes,
and on top of that, there's a great want. And it's tough to do that. I mean, you do try to spread the wealth as much as you can, but I love that you realize that when the community gives to you, you give back to the community, and it works both ways.
Yeah, the communities are wonderful to say. They keep us, growing and thriving. And when I like to, when I think about our local footprint, I think of organizations that support people, right? So Hope for All, CASA, Wellness House, it goes on and on and on. But also those organizations that are, for example, the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. They don't focus on people; they focus on another subject.
Right.
So it's not just helping the people and the community, but it's also helping organizations.
So our community is a lot larger than just the people. I mean,
Yes,
you've got the environment and everything else as well. So it's how did you get into this? Is there a good backstory on this? That were we doing shots at Park Tavern one night and said, "Hey, let's what do you think about a
Well,
butt cake store?"
It's a sweet story, actually. So we lived abroad for many years, and we had I have a childhood girlfriend of mine, and her husband, and we've stayed close through the many decades. And so we were we had repatriated back to the States. We went down to Dallas for a visit, and
Sorry about that.
We
says the Eagles fan. So
I know, right? Yeah. Well, okay, America's team. So we go down there for a visit, and every time we would go down there, obviously they were master franchisees, very, very, their rags to riches story just as well. But we go down there, and every time we would go down there, she had something really special for me. I have this gift or that gift, And this time, she said, I have something that she wanted tasting. So she breaks out these buntinis, and I go right for the red velvet. And I was like, oh, dear. Oh, my goodness. And so we had this next day. She's like, okay, I'm going to take you there. We found this for you. And they just, knew that. So next day we go to was it Plano? Was it? It wasn't the Plano in Dallas. It was another bakery in Dallas, and it was adorable. And so I say really quiet, and I just kind of like secretly reached out to the brand just to kind of like scratch the surface and see what that would be like. And then it was like a phone call and then another phone call. And then finally I had to confess to Glenn. So we have a phone call. He's like, with who? And I'm like, well, so it all comes out. And then,
hey, honey, I did a thing.
I did. Yeah.
Well, Samantha is the area director. I know that you're local. Before we started recording, you said you went to South River. So, how did you get hooked up with these guys?
Yeah, of course. So when they opened, I came around April of 2021, and one of my friends started working, and we were very connected in sports. Like sports was our whole thing. I didn't really have a job before, but you want to start working as you're getting older. So she was like, hey, I started working on Nothing Bundt Cakes. Like, if you want to get a job, like, I think you should interview. And I was like, sure, sounds great. So interviewed. Miss Rhonda actually interviewed me, hired me on the spot. It was very casual, but we all were friends there. Most people from South River, it was fueled with South River girls there. Yeah. So we were all friends, and it was very close-knit community at Annapolis starting off. And then from there, I kind of just worked my way up to, lead guest service representative. Then I went to like a shift lead, and then Miss Ron and Mr. Glenn were like, hey, I think you're doing great. Would you want to be assistant manager? That was when I was still balancing AACC when I went into college, sports, and then, just day-to-day life. And I was like, sure, why not? And then worked my way to bakery manager, territory manager, and then area director right now. So it's been a journey for the past 5 years.
Well, you've really gone from soup to nuts, or I'm not sure that's the right term, but you've started out at the very bottom. So yes. you know every step of the process here, which I think is huge, certainly for business owners to be able.
She's phenomenal. Like I don't know how we would operate without the growth that we've seen from her is incredible. She's incredible. Her potential is incredible. We're super happy to have her. Circling back a little bit to, part of the community, I think what she just said kind of triggered in me is that we have, over 70 employees from our 3 locations. And so we're providing jobs to the community. We're giving, money's going back to the community from the revenue that we bring in. I think for a lot of these folks, it's sometimes their first job. And I think
it was my first job.
A great environment for people to work in and maybe to learn some basic life skills that, they're not going to stay with us. They're going to go off and do, like so many of our girls go off to college.
I get that. Most smaller businesses don't expect an employee. I mean, it's the odd employee that is staying there for a career, a lifetime. It's odd for anybody to have a lifetime career today anyhow. But the skills that you're teaching these young adults that are coming into the workforce, whether it's, customer service, cash handling, is cash still a thing? But with the POS and inventory management and stuff like that is really huge. And those are lessons and valuable things that'll, take you throughout.
We do. I have to tell them that we were like, these are my girls. I raised them when they're little chickies at Annapolis, going back to Annapolis when Samantha joined us. We'd only been open a few months, but I always tell them that Annapolis, our Annapolis bakery was built by South River girls because we had 3 15-year-olds that opened Annapolis Bakery, and they all went through high school. The first phase graduated and went off to college. Second phase graduated, went in third phase, and it's like they've gone, and then they come back. We still have one young lady who was also opened Annapolis. It was her first job, and she's in university, but she's still with us. She still works part-time, but she's still, and 5 years on still.
That's going to make you guys feel good that you're helping so many people get a leg up and a leg out and a leg, on, and that they're welcome to come back.
It's a big responsibility. You don't really think about, what it means to not just hire, fantastic people that are growing, and I can't speak enough about Sammy, but when you hire a 15-year-old, just a baby, right? You're hiring not just that 15, you're hiring the parents, right? Because it's
sure.
The parents govern a lot of that, movement and permissibility, if you will. It's, so you're teaching them responsibility and many other things, and you're not going to school, you're going to work. Mm-hmm. And so, but amazing. And we, watch Apple, same thing happen again, Severna Park again, I think we've had maybe 2 14-year-olds that worked with us and stayed with us a few years. And
that's wild. Now, did either of you two have a food industry background?
No. I mean, I worked in it as, high school kid growing up as well, but no.
And Samantha, did you have any food inklings? I mean, you weren't in like the culinary program?
No. Wow. So I was 17 when I started, 16 or 17 years old. This was my first job, and this has been my only job. I did obviously babysitting on the side, sure. But this was my first actual job. My family does, my dad was a pastry chef in the Bronx, so pastries and all that stuff I was familiar with, and I was like, that kind of connects obviously with my family, so that's why I thought Nothing Bundt Cakes would be perfect. Which is so funny how it connects with family values as well, because what Miss Rhonda and Mr. Glenn teach, and even the brand, like it connects with me, with my morals and values. And I think that's very important to obviously work somewhere that you personally connect with. So, yeah.
True.
I think so many of our girls go off to college and they want to come back and they want to work, on Christmas break and Thanksgiving break or during the summers. And so that people want to come back to us and see the people that they worked with again. I think it says a lot about the environment that you guys create here.
Little mini reunion, something to celebrate. Get a buntini.
We have a founding girls wall. We started at Annapolis, and it's it's all the young girls that opened Annapolis, and then when they graduated high school, we started to put their graduation pictures on there, and then the next phase of graduation, and now it's college. So when they graduate college, their college graduate photos are going to go on there. And so, they'll always be our other children. And when they do come back, it is like coming back home. They can come, if any one of them wanted to come in and work for a day, I'd be like, go on, put your apron on, let's go.
You know how to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm still amazed that they're all baked locally right here,
in each bakery.
That's amazing. And I'm assuming that the franchise, you probably went out and did like a 2-week deal where they taught you how to run the business, the whole.
Or down to Dallas, they have usually some of their company-owned bakeries and provide training. And it was a month long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and learn A to Z. And then that's just kind of the start. The learning really starts when, they come help you get set up and open.
Right.
And then they go, okay, you're on your own. That's when it's like, oh, that's when it's real.
Oh,
you got to figure this out.
Now, is this your first jaunt into business ownership?
Yes.
Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being, oh my gosh, this was not the greatest thing in the world for us to do. And I never believe in the 10s ever exist because there's always some glitches that are there. What's the experience like for you guys owning a business? And I've got to say that in order to do it together, you guys must have a super relationship, because I know when I owned my travel agency, they were like, oh, do you work with your wife? I'm like, no, that wasn't going to work.
Well, I do have to say that having 2 separate vehicles was a saving grace, because it was like work together, live together, drive together. So when I finally got my own vehicle, probably, I think it was maybe a year and a half, Sammy, I waited like 20 months for my car, but that was a saving grace. So 1 to 10, I would probably say, like an 8.5.
I'm right there with you. I mean, when I own my own, people say, I mean, it's stressful as anything.
Stressful.
When you go home at night and you realize that, okay, I need to make sure that Samantha has enough food to eat at home. I need to make sure that these 60 some odd people that we've got working, I've got the electric bill needs to be paid. We didn't sell enough cakes, today, or whatever it may be. But yet you've got the freedom to be able to, do something else. I mean, hey, I want to go learn about this nonprofit. Maybe we're going to support that. Maybe I've got a kid that want to watch a baseball game or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons, but most people don't realize the stress that comes with owning your own business, whether it be a multiple location like Nothing Bundt Cakes, or whether just a small little one man.
We didn't really aspire to be a multi-unit owner when we opened up Annapolis. I don't think we just thought just one little thing that was going to be our own, my own. He's still a pilot, so he's still flying. He has his profession. I really didn't. So, this kind of became mine, if you will. But that you're dead on, right?
Yeah.
It's not a walk in the park. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate we didn't have small children. So I can't imagine a business owner with small children, because we would easy do 10, 12-hour days. And at that time, we weren't open on Sundays. The brand, didn't, now we're required to open on Sundays, but at that time we didn't. So it was the one day of rest, but I was still in the bakery.
Still working, sure.
You're not getting all.
Oh, yeah.
I think we didn't even begin to recognize how much work it's going to take to, and it's gotten better and worse over time in different ways. But like, as she said, we lived in there the first probably year. We were there all the time. It was just go home, eat, sleep, and get back the next day. And there's so much to learn and so much responsibility. And I would say, to your question, depending on the day you ask me, it can go from an 11 to, a 7. But overall, I think it's a 9 for me. And I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Do it in a heartbeat.
Great. And there's so many rewarding parts of it that I think outweigh the challenges. But
the people.
That's good.
The people.
Our guests and our employees are just like I'm so impressed sometimes by what they accomplish.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we go on a holiday that's so busy, how hard they work to make it happen is, I don't think the guest sees that. They just come and they take their thing. We don't recognize all the hard work.
Like it magically appears.
Yeah. The girls.
They don't know about the little L's behind the wall.
No.
Our bakers especially, they're come holiday time, they have to double their output, and they just work so hard to make that happen. And they do a great job. And our foster to everybody. It's the whole team that makes it happen. Well,
Doubling your output and stuff like that. You've got 3 locations. You've got Annapolis, you've got Gambrills, Crofton, whatever that is out there.
Watch Appletown.
And Severna Park. Which community is the piggiest? Which ones are buying more bundt cakes?
It's kind of tough, just because, Annapolis was the home that, they opened up and it was like gangbusters. It was very new to Anne Arundel County. That was the first one. So, everybody loved Annapolis. And then we opened Crofton, and obviously you have a little bit of cannibalism because you're pulling from all of Anne Arundel County to one location. So that happens with both Crofton and Severna Park. I don't know. It's kind of difficult. It depends on each bakery sells one item more than the other. So Watch Apple's more of a buntlet bakery because of the demographic. It's easy to grab and go. Annapolis is more of, I would say, an 8-inch or 10-inch cake bakery. So I don't know. We're trying to find our footing here because we're very new at Severna Park. But Annapolis has been still killing it with 2 other bakeries on their back, and they're doing great. So I would say Annapolis.
We still have folks who come from very far to buy a cake. And they could probably stop at Watchapel on the way in, but they come from far, just to go to Annapolis.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Like people that started there and they tried the others, even though it's more convenient. It's just like that's their home, as you said.
Yeah.
I think our girls do an amazing job at all of them, but especially there on taking care of our son.
Yeah.
But again, I just want to go back to what I said at the beginning, that the business kind of surprised me. And I mean, it was very similar to Mission Escape Rooms. When I talked to Jason Cherry down in Annapolis, I'm like, okay, so I figured out how to get out of the room. Now what? Not realizing that there's this attraction to do it again and again, and they change up the rooms. Just recently, I talked to Jenny Pride, who her and her husband own Gray's Craze, which is a charcuterie place in Edgewater.
The other day, actually, we donated some buntees for their event.
They had the grand opening on Monday. And again, that was one of those things. It was like, well, that's kind of but now I'm thinking, well, gosh, all of these different places that you can use, a charcuterie board or use a bundt cake. I mean, and again, I'm going through what are you celebrating? Like you said, Rhonda, it was what brings you in here today to make it is very surprising. I love to discover a business where you're like, okay, now that makes sense.
I think it exceeded our wildest dreams in terms of how many people would come in on a given week or day or year, and the sales volume that we saw was just incredible. Like I was with you, I was like, I don't know about but it's amazing. Somebody's always got a reason to celebrate,
and sometimes it's just celebrating Friday, and sometimes it really is like, okay, it's Monday, and I got to kick off Monday with something other than what it is I'm feeling like. So it can be the Monday, it can be the Friday.
I've got the Monday afternoon sales meeting. I need something to get there.
Really?
What's your personal favorite?
Red velvet.
Red velvet, Samantha?
I would say chocolate chip. I love the decadency.
Okay, so we've got the decadent side here, and what's that? The lemon. Okay, a little bit less decadent there. I don't know.
But lemon is our number one seller. As its own single flavor, it is the one that is the number one seller. I'm not sure if it is here, but I mean, they're all very, very popular. Yeah. But lemon at Annapolis and lemon at Crofton at Watchapel is the number one top seller.
Interesting. Well, I know that you've got the seasonal favorites that come in that you can do and change things up. And I'm presuming that the recipe and the ingredients and the proportions and stuff like that are all deeply guarded secret down in Texas that they tell you and swear you to secrecy and everything else. But do they give you any leeway to change flavors up, or do they take suggestions? I mean, can we get like an Old Bay bundt cake?
They definitely take suggestions. And they're constantly experimenting and developing new things. They started a new thing last year, which they call the pop-up flavor, and they'll bring it out for like a 2-week period. And then that's it. And it's like it's to have something new and fresh to try and experiment with new flavors. So that's something that's happened, and they definitely take suggestions, but they are very strict on following.
Well, that's sort of the beauty of a franchise too, as well, is that if I'm getting a craving and I happen to be in Montana, I don't know if there's one in Montana, but I can go there and I can be, pretty darned assured that it's going to taste the same as the Nothing Bundt Cake here in Severna Park.
So on the consumer side, you're exactly right. The franchises, you can get, but it's McDonald's or, whatever it may be, right? Nothing Bundt Cakes here from Canada to California, from Alaska to Alabama, it's going to be the same. But on the franchise side, on the franchisee side, it's the roadmap.
Yeah.
And from the very beginning, that was one of the things when we spoke with other owners as we were, embarking on this endeavor, I would say, what is your one thing? And they would all say the same thing. And I say the same thing. Follow the roadmap.
Well, sure. I mean, why make mistakes on your own when you can avoid the mistakes that somebody else did on the way here?
And we've made ours. Lord knows that we've learned, and they weren't catastrophic, thankfully, but that is exactly it. They have paved the way for others, and all we have to do is follow those footsteps, like follow the pathway, follow the roadmap.
Well, I would suggest if you get a chance to plug it, try to come up with something in Old Bay. Someone told me put Old Bay on vanilla. Someone told me Old Bay on vanilla ice cream, and I was just like,
interesting.
That sounds good, actually.
Try it.
Yeah.
It's like You know, there's
My favorite, like-
you get things like, I mean, I never was a chicken and waffles guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that just sounds really kind of, ugh.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I still haven't done it.
You still got the
Still
yuck.
haven't done it.
I'm sure as we go down there every once in a while, that's what I'd love to get from there is their chicken waffles were amazing. So that's a good.
Yeah. But, you know, I noticed on the website that you also got a link on top of there for fundraising.
Yes.
And I know that you've been out in the community. We talked about, you know, the SPCA donor party and stuff like that. I mean, can you talk a little bit about the fundraising and what you're giving back to the community?
This is the expert on fundraising. You get somebody on the phone with her and it's all over, right? She's the master at executing and working with folks to execute, to do those fundraisers.
So our online fundraising actually is very new. I believe we started that in September just of this past year of 2025. So that's very new. We're learning about that, but we have in-house fundraisers that we always do with organizations. We've supported so many different communities, even, you know, Northern High School, which is down south, which we try to hit anybody that we can to support. So with that, like Mr. Glenn said, is that they'll sell cakes for a reduced price, and then from there we'll give them a percentage depending on, you know, if we go online, we can talk to them about percentages that differentiates. So from there they can sell it, and then we cut them a check for whatever percentage that they get back, and then they could do a ticket sale as well, which is kind of like a coupon in a way that the organization will sell and the participants can buy them. It's very hands off in that sense, and the customer can come whenever they'd like to and redeem that ticket, and then, you know, we exchange basically like the ticket for a cake. So it's very, very easy, I would say, from our standpoint, and then also the organization's standpoint of just piecing it together, because we're very supportive. I always like to be in communication with the organization so there's no, you know, crossed wires or anything. So it's very successful for us. And we've had businesses and organizations come back for, I mean, one of them that has come back for the last like 4 years. Yeah. Every spring and every winter around Christmas time, they come back, and, you know, it's very successful. So I always recommend a fundraiser with us because it's
so good to hear.
So it's schools,
right?
It's churches. It's cheerleading teams, which is my favorite.
Right.
It's my favorite. And when you get those cheerleaders fundraising, it's all over.
Well, they're crazy. I've got a friend of mine, his daughters, and there's one up in Crofton. They did a bingo night down at the Knights. It was like a contact sport. I mean, we were like, oh my, these women and these men are serious. I mean, they come in with their own little stamper things for the bingo cards, and they bring lunches, and I mean, they're hardcore cheerleaders. They got to get them on. They got to buy all the money for the travel to get them out to the competitions and everything else.
Cheer is very, it's an investment, and I don't know where it leads to on, you know, in the years to come. But it's a better term than saying it's very expensive, because it's very expensive. We have a granddaughter. Our granddaughter is a competitive cheerleader, and she's been doing that and it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like hundreds of dollars for just the clothing, thousands of dollars.
And you think it was just that little curly hair add-on thing.
That was very expensive, but you know, those little cheerleaders, if you could roll them up and bake them into cake, they, you know, who knows what they would be. They're fantastic. But, you know, those sports teams, school classes for like the band team or the
clubs and everything that
school clubs.
That's so awesome that you guys
we just
are so focused on that.
An organization to use our product to help make them money. So they have a product that sells itself, and we try to make it really easy for them to go out and earn some money that can help support the organization. So we love doing that. It's like a great partnership that we'd like to do.
It is a partnership. We work with them, Sammy, more now than I do, very closely with the point of contact to ensure that they understand the execution, and throughout that entire process, it's not just like here are your documents, here are your tickets, you know, go fundraise and then just let me know when you're done. So I think that collaborative effort, you know, Sammy builds a very strong connections and relationships, and the returning people who come back, it's got to be
right.
People who come back and fundraise with her.
Right. But I mean, it seems very easy. I mean, when I came in here, into your little itty bitty tiny storefront that you don't realize you have the huge place behind. But I mean, it was your employees are just so great. I mean, you walked in, I mean, it's a quick it's a quick greet. Hey, what can I do? What can I help you with?
Yeah.
And it's, I want to say it's like a machine, like a fine oiled machine, but you guys really seem to focus on, the guest experience and,
Our mission is.
Are they called guests? Are they called guest customers?
They call them guest service representatives, but our folks up front are.
They're called joy creators. Yeah.
Joy creators
Okay.
now. And that's our mission, is to bring the joy to our guests.
Yeah.
And the brand's, philosophy is cake and mouth is their marketing thing. If somebody, for your thing, exactly what you said, they're like, bundt cakes, I don't know. But once they try them, like, oh my God, these are so good. And
Yeah.
so when we go out and market, it's to get cakes out to people to try. And they're like, I want to get on some of those.
Yeah.
What is this? And I get that. I get that business. It's like, okay, I get it now. I see what the hype is all about.
Yeah.
It's not just about flyers or, a conversation or a meet. When we go out to visit, our communities and businesses or whatever, we come with cake.
Well, and from a business perspective, I mean, it makes so much sense for you because, you've got a very unique name. Okay. Nothing Bundt Cake. And to be able to go to a Cub Scout fundraiser or something along those lines, I'm going to remember that. And I'm going to come, I'm going to say, what was it? Nothing Bundt Cake. It's going to come right to mind. And then I'm going to be able to sit there and see. And I mean, again, you can order right online. Again, nothingbundtcake.com, select your location and order from there. And presume you can just come in and pick it up then at that point, or
Pick up, we deliver, curbside delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
Okay. And did you say deliver?
We deliver.
We did it.
Okay. That's dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
That's dangerous. And then, do you guys have an app?
Yes, there's an app.
Okay.
And I totally recommend it because one, it's very easy to order, and you also earn the rewards points, and so you can get free cake. Every time you purchase, you can feel
Another dangerous policy.
Yep.
I mean, you just did
club.
Yeah.
We also have a birthday club, our e-club or birthday club. Become a member of our birthday club, and you get a free cake on your birthday every year.
That's cool.
Just walk in and say, "It's my birthday. Here's my."
You don't do birthday parties per se. Like Chuck E. Cheese used to have the. Thankfully, no.
We don't. Oh my gosh, I cannot do that.
But I mean, certainly it's a great thing for a birthday party to be able.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To bring out that, and then there are some accoutrements that come with that too. I mean, I saw on the website you've got some balloons and some different candles.
There's like different. It's something we haven't really talked about. There's so many different decorations. So it is basic in terms of we got 4 sizes of the cakes, and we have 11 or 12 different flavors. But the things that you can customize and make unique are the decorations are available.
Sounds like a perfect. Oh, Craig's! I forgot her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's really a one-stop.
Come here, and then there's a cake with a candle with the right numbers and a balloon, and then I look like a hero.
Oh my God, it's Valentine's.
Yeah. Yeah. We have lots of guys coming in. We save lots of relationships.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say the best way to experience Nothing Bundt Cake is to go taste it.
That's right.
Go eat it at the Town Center in Annapolis on Town Center Boulevard. You can go to the Town Center at Log Chapel up there right off of Route 3, or Park Plaza up here in Severna Park. It's 2-3 doors down from the Park Tavern, something like that. So it's real easy to get in. If you're coming from Annapolis, you take a left on McKenzie and a right into the parking lot, and then just follow the good smell.
Yeah.
And that will do. But you can go to nothingbundtcakes.com, and that's BUNDT in the middle of there, and then select your local bakery, and that'll keep it there for you. And congratulations on this growth. Congratulations on 3 locations inside of 5 years.
Yeah.
Where's the next market, or is there one?
There are several. Yeah.
So
That you're thinking of?
Bowie's under development now.
Where?
In Bowie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Do you know?
It's Mill Branch Crossing is the name. It's a new development. They've already put some homes in there, and there's going to be a commercial.
Okay, cool.
Literally just got the building permit late December, and so that's going to start building. So we expect that to come out maybe summertime.
Wow.
Looking at
Ellicott City?
no.
That's usually
But
another
there
one.
might be there probably is something going up around that Baltimore area. Our next can be up the 2 corridor, maybe around the Glen, Bernie, Ferndale, Pasadena area. And we also have over the Bay Bridge, Easton. We've looked at a couple of sites there, and then going down south to Patuxent River,
St. Mary's County. Yeah.
St. Mary's County.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Looking at
So
sites. We're in negotiations right now with a site there, but who knows what will happen. So yeah.
wow, you guys aren't letting any moss grow on that as you go. That's awesome. So you've got Bowie, possibly Glen Burnie, Pax River, Easton. Easton's really turned into a cool little foodie town.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually going to go see a site.
It's stopping off point on the way to the city, and so
we're looking at a site in what's actually called Chester. It's right on the
just over across the river on
D. So we're scouting areas.
There was a pizza place in Chester that's out of business now. Had the best pizza in Maryland, and it was called La Piazza. It was on Main Street in Chester. They closed, they went out of business, and I am of the opinion that there is no good pizza in Maryland for the most part, because I'm a little bit of a snob with some New York and Philadelphia, but it's just, there's good, but there's no, oh my God, pizzas. Mm-hmm. This place had it, and they're out. So
how long were they in business?
What's that? They were in business for a long time. It was an old house. It was, it looked like an old house from the outside, and it was just a family probably that had run it for probably 60 years. And I think probably what it was, running a restaurant is difficult. I think probably
when you master the art, it's still
it is. And I think, that's a little bit of an art. And I think you probably had some younger generations sitting there saying, well, that's probably not for me.
Yeah.
And I get that.
When you find that great place, let us know.
Okay. I will. I absolutely will. NothingBundtCakes.com. Come up here to Severna Park. Go out into the town center in Annapolis. Go into the town center up in Wauk Chapel. Check this out. You will probably have the same reaction that I had to take your WTF and switch it to an OMG. And thank you guys for inviting me up here and learning about it. And I can't wait to hear the future growth.
Check back with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.